welcome to the fifth episode of the Garage Cat.
You guys can still see Red is not here today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate.
He's still stuck in the ditch. That's
I think he broke his leg somewhere.
Hey, broke
No,
his
he
leg?
didn't.
He told us.
Oh, I thought you.
No,
Did he break it? No, I think he said he rolled it. He rolled it.
He wrote it. Like,
He rolled
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That was a while ago, though. Like,
Yeah.
nothing to be worried about.
I just called him.
Yeah, nothing to be worried about. I was like
He's doing good right now.
6. So today we're delving more into the head tax and also into the Exclusion Act. What's our question for today?
Our question of the day is, why did the Canadian government replace the Chinese head tax with the Chinese Exclusion Act, and what were the lasting effects of both acts to the Chinese community? So, who wants to get us started?
I'll do it. So basically, the government replaced like the head tax with the Chinese Exclusion Act. You know why? You guys have any idea?
I mean even though the head tax became extremely expensive, $500.
Yeah, $500.
Chinese immigration to Canada didn't completely stop.
Yeah.
Many people were still willing to pay the tax because opportunities in Canada were often better than the conditions they faced in parts of China at the time.
Some families and communities even pooled money together to help pay the individuals so they can pay that tax so they can work in Canada and send some money back
and
home.
make them have like money. Yeah.
Because immigration continued, anti-Chinese like all altitudes in Canada became like more and more stronger day by day. Politicians and groups that opposed Chinese immigrants argued that the head tax was not generally strict enough, even though it was really strict. $500. That's not less. That's a lot back in the day.
As a result, the Canadian government introduced the Chinese Exclusion Act. It was created in 1923,
Yes.
which
And it was much harsher. I mean, the new law marked like a major shift in government policy. Instead of simply discouraging immigration to financial barriers, they moved toward completely banning them.
So they got benefit by using them to build the Banff National Park, by
Yes.
doing railway and roads, and they just don't want them anymore because there's no need of them anymore.
They were scared. There was no need.
There's no need because
Yeah.
they think they can they can put a revolution up against them, right?
I mean, when the act came to be, it was you said 1923, right?
Yeah, 1923.
Yeah, it was like July 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, July 1st, 1923. Like almost all of Chinese immigration stopped.
Yeah, over the next 24 years, I think it was, like only like
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 24 years.
yeah, only around like 50 Chinese immigrants were allowed to enter.
Over 24
50?
years,
Yeah.
like 50.
50?
Like maybe even,
Like total?
yeah, maybe even less.
Holy. I mean, this really showed like how far the government policy shifted from like discouraging Chinese immigration to completely excluding them from the country.
some people might argue the government believe it was protecting Canadian jobs, but
And also the social stability, yeah.
social
Yeah.
stability, yes.
But like banning an entire ethnic group from immigrating shows how the powerful fear and xenophobia had become at the time.
Xenophobia.
That sounds.
What is that word?
I mean, xenophobia means like the fear of other cultures or other people coming into your country.
That was really rampant.
And I guess we all know what it's about.
The Chinese like invading their home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The head tax allowed Chinese immigrants to enter Canada, but it made immigration extremely expensive and difficult. Only those who could afford
Why
to
do
pay
you-
the large fee were allowed to enter.
Why do you think the
The
illegal
head
immigrants
tax-
that were happening?
Yeah, the head tax and the Exclusion Act use different strategies. But they both aim to reduce Chinese immigration.
I mean, another effect from the tax.
The tax, I mean, immigration still continued, right?
Yeah, it continued later on, but like it was more illegal.
No, I mean like during the head tax, immigration still happened.
Yeah,
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 immigration, yeah, still.
It's just that it slowed down.
Yeah, it slowed down
because of
because
the
payment, yeah,
Yeah.
like the fee, yes.
it went even higher.
I mean, what's another effect of the tax?
Like the Exclusion Act was very different. Instead of allowing immigrants
Like having a
tax,
choice to even go in.
Yeah, they just completely stopped it.
They stopped it.
They didn't face their problems. They just tried to avoid their problems.
Exactly.
I mean, do we even know how much they earn?
Yes.
I heard about 23 million
$23 million?
And how long was it between what?
between like
It's kind of-
1885 to 1923.
So century
That's-
23.
That's a lot of money.
That's a
That's
lot.
a lot of money.
Also, like,
How
That's
many
a
years is that?
really lot of money.
1.2 billion in today's
Today's
years.
Today's money.
That's how that's how much it would be
billion
today.
Yeah. Now this raises an interesting question. Was the head tax partly motivated by the government's desire to collect money?
Yes, during the head tax, during the time when the head tax was still active, still in action, it was. But when the Exclusion Act came, it wasn't. They just didn't want as much like residents, like not as much people coming.
Oh, so they shifted their goal from getting money to removing Chinese immigration.
yes, because like the amount of people was a little too much for them to handle. So.
I mean, what are the effects it had on Chinese families and communities?
I mean, one of the major results of this immigration restrictions, like stopping the immigration, was that the creation of what historians call the bachelor societies.
Yes, a lot of the Chinese immigrants were men who planned to work, I think, temporarily.
Right.
Yeah, on the railway and save up their money and eventually bring their wives and children to join them.
Yes, have a better
But
life.
we all, that didn't work out for most of them.
Yeah,
Most of their wives and children starved back in China.
But once the Exclusion Act was introduced, these men were no longer allowed to like bring their families into Canada.
And-
because it completely
And
stopped.
what's that result to, Jaden?
What the result to like having being unmarried.
Yeah. And I think like thousands of Chinese men
You know how
lived
long?
for
you know-
decades.
you guys know
Even
how-
the ones who were married lived for decades without seeing their wives or children.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how long the men have been separated from the families?
I think like over 20 years.
20 to 40
Yeah,
years.
20 to 40.
That's a really long time.
I think communication was like slow. Travel was expensive. It was
Back then-
really
I
difficult to
also
maintain
think that,
family
like,
relationships.
There's just group of men. It's like being like decent amount for like it's just men. There's like no women. They always like the men
They
together.
needed laborers who really can work.
Yeah, so it was mostly men who traveled, not a lot of women. So even if they wanted to find people to love in Canada, there wasn't.
And I think we all
Other
know
than
that
white
back
people.
then they didn't really give women education. They focused to make women more of a housewife instead
Yeah.
of giving them education.
I'm pretty sure a lot of the Chinese immigrants lived in like crowded housing too in Canada, and
Yeah.
within like Chinatowns, and like worked very long
I
hours.
heard that their workplaces,
restaurants.
I heard that the workplaces were very messed up. Like
Yeah, they worked long hours in restaurants,
Some of these
laundries,
men
small
even
businesses.
died without ever seeing their families again.
Yeah,
They didn't
that's
have
brutal.
proper life. They didn't have
and
proper life.
that emotional impact separated of this separation affected multiple generations of Chinese Canadian families.
Can you believe that?
It's just really traumatizing for the families and for the people who work there too.
Yeah, these laws created deep emotional damage,
For the
social
Chinese
too,
families, right?
for Chinese families.
I mean, they also shaped the Chinese community in Canada later on, influencing where people lived and how their communities were built or structured.
True. I mean, they resisted these discriminatory policies. They
Yeah.
organized together.
Chinese
For
Canadians did not simply accept these laws. Like they organized protests. They had petitions out. They formed community organizations to like fight this discrimination.
I mean, one important organization that the Chinese communities made were the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association. Well, that's a mouthful. Try saying that 16 times. They wrote petitions. What am I saying? When they helped represent Chinese Canadians politically and supported community members. My bad.
For many Canadians, July 1st, it's an exclusion act. It's a day. July 1st is the day.
Yes,
that
it was when it was.
What
was
it called?
introduced.
Humiliation Day.
Yes. They often remembered it as Humiliation Day. While the rest of Canada celebrated, I think they called it back then Dominion
Dominion
Day.
Day.
Yeah, it's not Canada Day, but and Chinese Canadians marked it as a day of reminder of discrimination.
During World War II, more than 600 Chinese Canadians, 600,
That's a lot of people.
600 volunteered in the military, despite still facing discrimination.
Despite?
Despite facing discrimination in their own country.
Imagine
Oh, why?
how
Well,
they were to still volunteer after all they went
Yes.
through.
yeah. I mean, why would they still fight for Canada, Jaden?
Because they still want to defend their country. They still want to defend it, even though all the discrimination that happened. They still want to defend
Oh, so they still felt like even though they were discriminated against, it was still their home.
Yeah,
They were still
Yeah, they're
willing
still
to risk their
yeah.
lives.
Mm.
That's
That's-
crazy.
I think in
I thought they were.
in 1947, after years of pressure and changing attitudes following the war, the Chinese Exclusion Act was finally repealed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they signed the treaties.
The Chinese head tax and the Chinese Exclusion Act show how immigration policies can reflect the fears and prejudices and pressures to society.
Yeah, political pressures.
These laws separated families, harmed communities, and shaped the experience of Chinese Canadians for generations.
Yeah,
I think that's about it.
Is that it?
Pretty sure.
I think so.
All right. Well, that's our thoughts on. What was your question again?
How did the Canadian government? Why did the Canadian government replace the head tax and the Exclusion Act? And what were the lasting effects of both acts to the Chinese community?
Well, yeah, that's our thoughts on
That's
the
our end of the
Exclusion Act. Yeah, that's our thoughts on the Exclusion Acts. If you want to
Add
say your opinion, say it down below.
Yep.
And that's it. Bye.
Bye.